Hey everyone, let's talk about a huge problem in pharmaceutical industry. Right now, nearly 40% of patients drop out of clinical trials. This is not just a number, it costs an average of $20,000 to replace one person who leaves, and it can delay a trial by many years. These trials use old, confusing spreadsheets and software that feels like they are from the 1990s. Because the apps are so difficult, patients stop using them, and clinics often don't know until it's too late. But first things first, we need to understand the problem in detail while learning some business knowledge, building a product, and then repeating it. That's the way we do it at Domain School, using our proprietary framework through which you can build an enterprise grade product solving real business problems and building products which are available for to use in 2 hours or less. Today we are going to build a solution called AdhereOS. Think of this as a Duolingo of clinical trials. We are not rebuilding the whole database. We are building a simple, fun engagement layer that sits on top. It uses reminders and gamifications to keep patients engaged. If a patient falls behind, our system automatically spots it and helps them get back on track before they drop out. In this build, you will learn the actual rules of the industry, what are trial arms, what is eCOA, why patient leaves, how to implement FDA regulations like 21 CFR Part 11, which keeps medical data safe and accurate. You will also learn how to use AI and event-driven code to make your app smart and reactive. You won't just be writing code, you will be solving a real-world business problem. But friends, before we start, I have a request to join Domain School community and this channel. Domain School is world's first domain knowledge specialization school, an AI platform for tech professionals and students. Learn business knowledge across pharmaceuticals, finance, retails, and several other industries. In this age when AI can build products, your domain knowledge of these industries is what keeps you valuable. Everything we build is in bite-sized videos with prompt sequences and source code ready for you to use. When you finish, you actually get an official certification of completion for your resume, uh, and you can do it all in our community. And the link of the community is in the description. Treat Domain School like the Khan Academy of industry domains, where we simplify hard concepts into easy to understand lessons. At the same time, treat us like Canva for developers, a place where you can rapidly build incredible high value products using AI without needing to spend decades mastering every single technical or business knowledge detail. Click the link in the description to join our community today. Subscribe now, and let's get you more interviews and land your next dream job. Let's get started. Okay friends, so first let's understand the problem which we are going to solve today. So it's a big problem, so let's go to our Domain School platform and under the build, so we are going to solve like a biotech, medtech, pharmaceutical, life sciences industry problem. So this is about improving patient retention in clinical trial. So you all might have in a situation that say you took a medicine and doctor said that take like 5 days of a dose, and after 3 days you felt better, and you just stop taking the medication, right? So of course we should not do it, but this problem is a massive problem for um, pharmaceutical companies during the clinical trials when they are testing the new drug on the potential small set of patients, because if during the clinical trial the patient actually drops off, then it's like a big financial loss for the companies, because whatever data they have collected for the patient so far, that data cannot be used further. So that clinical trial is actually called a study in pharmaceutical terms, and then it forces pharmaceutical companies to recruit new patients, which is very expensive and very slow, and this actually leads to massive financial losses for the company. So this is a problem we are trying to solve. So let's understand a bit more about the problem. So on the platform, you can like open more details. So let it get loaded. So we are trying to build a adherence system for the patient, and before that, let's understand what is the financial impact of that. So every time a patient actually drops out of a clinical trial, it is like almost a $20,000 per person loss for the financial loss for the pharmaceutical companies, and more importantly, it delays the clinical trial. So and the one of the reason behind it happens that the way doctors are following up, or the clinical trial investigators are following up with the patients, it is in a very traditional traditional way of reaching out, maintaining a spreadsheet, and maybe patient is keeping list of maintaining their own diary. So this is the reason. So we want to shift, do a product shift through this product, through this solution which we are building. So rather than the spreadsheet, we'll have like a gamified swipes and streaks for the patient, just like you have like in all new age mobile applications. And rather than a 20 question diary asking patient for the data collection, just have like a sentiment awareness, soft nudges for the patient. And from reactive, where most of the sites would realize that patient is going only when the patient has gone. So we'll just have like a more proactive real-time risk scores. And our primary goal is that rather than reactive and passive data storage, it is more of an active protocol deviation prevention. So just to understand more, this is called like electronic clinical outcome assessment data points. So in the traditional way, you have like a lot of web forms, and then the doses are missed doses are unmonitored, and then the patient drops out. But the solution which we are going to build, it is it will have a gamified check-in. It will have like a telemetry alerts and a high retention. In order to keep patients motivated, we'll have like a high retention and reward point. To make such a solution, it is really important that you understand the domain knowledge behind it. So some of the domain knowledge you need to have is you need to have understanding of the electronic clinical outcome assessment. This is kind of a digital tools patient use to report symptoms, biometrics, drug ingestion, anything they felt while taking the drug. You also need to understand the longitudinal data. So data has to be collected repeatedly from over an extended period of time, and if this stream of data is incomplete, FDA won't accept this data. And I'm explaining it in a very simple language. There are like a lot of complexities around it, but once you start building the basic product, you'll understand all this. You need to have a predictive telemetry. So it is like monitoring patient usage patterns, if there are response delays, if there are submission speed, all these things you need to track. And also there are regulatory laws and to protect the personal health information. So your code base need to have a particular identifier rather than names. So all those things are really important pieces of domain knowledge which you need to understand. You also would understand what are trial arms. Like arm A is like a one way, is a control where you give like a one type of drug, and arm B is actually like a active medication to verify the outcome efficacy. And also if whenever you're building any product for like pharmaceutical industry, it needs to be like CFR part 11 compliant as per the FDA regulation. So when you start building these kind of a products, you'll have like all the knowledge, domain knowledge. Some of that you need to have like a patient telemetry data, sentiment classification, risk evaluation, clinician dashboard, external API lookups. So all these things are really important to understand to build a really good product. But whenever you are solving any problem, just think from the stakeholders and personas, whoever would be using this particular product. So here are users of this product would be the patient. So the goal of the patient is to, complete the treatment protocol. And their pain point is that, the traditional eCOA forms are very long and complex, and patient just forget. And uh, the product which we are building, AdhereOS, it will have a check of daily task in 15 minutes. You will earn the steady streaks, kind of a gamify participation. So as you can see here, this is how will work. Patient can actually just complete, and they can record their system, and it will automatically go to the clinician to see that. And yeah, you'll have like prompts and everything. Let's just see quite a few other things which we would do in order to understand. This I already told you. Any pharma product which you are building, this is a very important piece of the domain knowledge, that you just cannot erase the old clinical data. So all the entire audit trail needs to be maintained. So this is how you will design your product. So if you are sitting in an interview, and if you have kind of saying that you have solved this problem, and if you cover these pieces of the domain knowledge, it will have like a huge impact. And the protocol deviation. So all this thing, as a part of the development, you will understand. And all the AI concept like RAG powered adverse event detection. So all these are part in the product build. So with this, I think we have sufficient information on the problem statement, the solution we are going to build. So let's start actually building it. Previous videos we have understood the problem. So now let's start, and we have drafted like a rough sketch of what exactly our problem statement is, what product we want to build. So let's start building in the AI agent builder. So first we have to just do some basic setting. So we have to create a folder in AI agent builder. I'm using anti-gravity right now, and we have to create these 3 files. So let's go here. I've already created this folder, AdhereOS clinical trial retention. So let's add 3 files here. First is explainer.md, second is our prompts.md, and third is our instructions.md. So each of these files have different purpose, and we'll do one by one. So for the explainer.md, we have this prompt. I mean, this is really this output will make you like a domain expert on the product you are building. You will be able to answer any questions, technical or business. So this is really important. It is like explainer on your product. As the core idea of domain school is just not to teach you how to build, also what to build and why to build. So that's where this kind of understanding is needed. So let's go to Google Gemini, paste this, and paste our problem statement of the product which we are building. So let it generate. So it's giving you the business problem, industry logic, all the data sources you need to have, and how the engagement works, and kind of a technical blueprint also of the product we are building. So let's paste this in the explainer file. Okay, we'll remove this chat, this content which is not needed. Okay, our next step is to create the prompt.file. So So this will give you exact series of prompts in like a different MVP structure, which you can just copy paste, and you have like first version or even the second or the high level of version of your product ready. So this is your prompts file, and our third file is instructions. So we'll just copy paste, and many of you may not be like a purely technical, you don't understand the best practices of a technical development, so this file takes care of everything. It tells your agent builder to code something which is modular, which is secure. So, and we keep on updating this, so please do visit to community to get it. Okay, so let's generate this file. Okay, it has generated. I'm not sure it has fully, and it's still working on it, so let's give it some time. So let's generate the instructions file here. Okay, so we have our entire, it has like the coding standards, development standards, deployment, how to launch, so everything is there. And let's just copy this and paste it in our instruction file. Okay, and it will also help you maintain a living documentation which you can refer. So with this let's see. Okay, all our three files are completed. Our project is set in agent builder, and we'll start actually the first build of the MVP one in the next video. Thank you. Start with the next video. So in the previous video we have created like the folder in our AI agent builder and created all the files with the exact structure. So we are ready to start. Just ensure to go to file and save all, because sometimes it don't save it. And then let's go to our community. So our next step is to start with the AI agent builder. So we are telling it to just please read the instructions and prompts, everything, and come up with the implementation plan. And depending on the settings in your system or the things which are already installed, the output may be different, but it will start analyzing all the files, and it will take some time. So by the time it comes up back with the implementation plan, let's see. So we have asked it to create a project specification file and an implementation file, so it is creating that. So it has created this implementation plan, how exactly it will approach this app. So just go through it properly. It will give you like a lot of understanding how the really good products are built. We are gonna accept all this. Okay, I think it has created the implementation plan, and then I'll tell, then it is saying that just confirm. I'll begin initializing. Okay, confirm. looks good. Please start development of MVP1. So it will install lot of libraries in your system, and several times it will start you to accept the command, and this is how we have designed this instructions file. We don't want to give full control to the agent builder, but you can set it differently within the AI agent builder or in the instructions file. So several times we have to click submit, and we will be back when it has like done all this initial setup and our first MVP is ready. And again, it may be different for your system. For example, if you are doing everything at first time, it will install a lot of new packages. So let's meet once our first version is ready, and on the left hand pane you will see unit has started creating a lot of files. Agent builder has completed the first MVP, so it has created a symptom general form for the patients. Also it has created a clinical portal, and it is asking us to just have a look on how exactly it looks like. So if you are not able to load it, you may have to go to the folder it is there and run npm run dev or npm run dev, and you can test it on the local host. So you can see that for the patient who is on a particular clinical trial arm B, so they have given the patient a daily checklist. So patient can say okay, they have completed this one, they have even recorded the daily symptoms, and suppose uh, they have to record some symptoms. And you can also have like make it voice enabled in your next version upgrade or want to add a feature. So this is the beauty of building something. Once you start building, you'll think from the user perspective and you can add more and more features. So I am feeling thirsty every 3 hours. So the AI, and we have not added the AI engine in this first MVP, but we can make it like a AI analysis in the next version. So then it also has a clinician dashboard where clinician can see okay, each of the patient, whether they are active or they are at a risk. For example, this patient is updating every day or so, 5 days continuously this patient is updating, but this patient has not, so there's a chances of this patient dropping out. So it can actively tell the clinician that there's a risk of this patient dropping out, so they can see. So this is like our first version, a very basic one, but it gives you some idea of how the this AdhereOS which we are trying to build looks like in the very first MVP. We are going to refine it further, but before that let's move this code to GitHub so that you can share with others and host it. So let's go over here and just click new. So we'll create a repository, AdhereOS patient retention in. So we can just write it simply, AdhereOS patients retention in clinical trials. So let's create this repository and let's tell our agent builder to push the code to repository. So you can say looks good. Before we do any more changes, I want code to be published to GitHub. And in fact we have an exact prompt for this. So if you say here push to GitHub, we have like an exact prompt so that it can publish on the GitHub pages. So that's the easiest way for you to just so let's send all this and it will start pushing this code to your GitHub repository. And if you want to have like your API keys, any password, so you can tell agent builder and it will ensure that those are securely stored, and in the future videos will actually cover details, how exactly we done. But all those technical things are easy now. The important thing is to actually understand the domain knowledge to build the right products, solve the right solutions. So we'll see, it is just several times you have to hit submit. So, and it now it is pushing the code to GitHub. It will deploy. It may take few minutes, especially if your code is large, it may take little longer. And we'll like do a best practice that every time you're making any changes, let's push the code to GitHub. So it has done something. Version control, it is saying that it has already published it. So let's go to the repository and you should be able to see all your code. Yeah, all the code is here. And if you go to settings over here, you can say it has published two GitHub pages, but you can just select here, so it will save the changes. And now you can actually see your app, should be able to see your app live, hopefully. And earlier it was on local, but now it is on this link. You can share with anybody and add more features into it. So in the next video we are going to just refine it further, add more features, add a kind of explainer page to it so that you can walk through, and then push that code again to GitHub. Thank you. The first MVP worked all fine. You can see it is live now. So it is helping patient adhere to the unique clinical trial schedule, and there is a clinician dashboard as well, and this is just like our first version. So before we do anything else, let's add a about page on this one, so that we have a very clear understanding of what exactly we are building. So let's send this to our agent builder, and we have two images for inspiration which we can attach. So our whole intent for you to understand the business knowledge. So if you add this about page on the application, then it will help you understand the concepts better. So we'll proceed with this implementation plan. It has added a kind of a learning tag on the entire application which we have built. It explains the business problem, the required domain knowledge you need to have. So this is how it works, and that is how our framework on domain school is, that you do a initial build and then you get a lot of terms, lot of concepts, and then you learn those concepts. So you can now Google out what is eCOA, what is predicted telemetry, how the trial arms work. A lot of these concepts we are going to cover in our domain school classes, but our philosophy is to avoid a lot of theory, start building, and on the basis of the build learn more. It will also cover all the data pipelines and joins you need to have, stakeholders and personas who would be using this product, how you can use in your college applications and in resumes, and also every single prompt which you have used, it is here. So if you want to share with somebody else, you can just directly share this link with you, they can with them, and they can copy the prompt and use it. And if you don't want these prompts to be public, you can of course remove it by telling your AI agent builder. But the most important thing is the further enhancement, You can integrate the variable biosensors data in this machine learning powered churn modeling, and lot of HIPAA compliant video and chat consultation. So this is where is the first MVP of the product ready. We'll do some few more minor enhancement to make it like a full-fledged product. See you in the next video. So we will update the app further with our tier 3. I mean we are not going to integrate it real time with the database in this video, another video for that, but we'll ask our agent builder to enhance it further. And remember, there are a lot of further enhancement which you can do, and you can brainstorm, understand more on the problem, but we'll stick to our plan. And let's say okay, proceed with tier 3 but do not integrate with real database in the interest of time. Prepare some dummy data and make app working. Push the code to GitHub when done. Okay, so we have sent our prompts. So again, we have instructed to create an implementation plan. So it is creating the implementation plan, and we have said to proceed with it. So in the tier 3 we asked for some kind of a chart creation, a better visualization, and all. You can actually integrate it with like a real database, so that we'll do in some other video. So it is working on all this. While it is working, let's also estimate the cost of this app. So we have the prompt to estimate the cost. So first let's get a summary from our LLM which we are using. So let's send this prompt to give us like a short summary of the project, which we can feed to our cost estimation. So this is ready. Let's copy, go to our domain school platform, and here we have enterprise cost estimator. So let's estimate another project. So let's keep these options like really small. So it is actually checking the real industry rates and the rules required to develop this kind of a project, which is built by like a large big consulting firm, and it is also optimizing the cost because it's a vibe coded functionality. Okay, so around 554k is the IT consulting agency cost for an app of this nature. So let's do one thing. So we are going to take some of these screenshots. So as you can see, it is also updating the walkthrough every time we are doing any changes. So it is doing this because we have already mentioned it in our instructions file. So I just want to update the cost as well. So let's take the screenshot of this also. And we have our prompt here. So I'm telling it that update the about page with these cost details and highlight the value which I have disrupted and push the change to GitHub. You can see that it has created this trend chart for the clinician to see uh, what is the adherence score for the patient. And this patient, there is a big risk of patient dropping down because the adherence score is going like below 45%, and it will also give alerts. So this is like the just first version of this AdhereOS. This solves like a massive problem in the pharmaceutical industry if you are able to build it and enhance it even further based on further enhancement and after discussing with the business. But even if you are able to build this first version and put it into your resume, and if you are applying for any role which is at the intersection of pharmaceuticals, life sciences and technology, then I think this is a great build. So with this we'll wrap up this week's build, and happy learning.